It's time to analyze more music from Wuthering Waves. I'm Corey, or Everything Fantasy. I'm a video game composer. I'm really curious of what we're going to encounter today, because I've heard so much music from Wuthering Waves now, and I've enjoyed all of it for different reasons, but this has been a really popular suggestion. Voyaging Stars Farewell. I have my keyboard in front of me. Let's get into this. Okay, this is really interesting so far. We have almost like a broken synth key kind of sound, almost paddy in nature. The key, I think, is... I think we're in A flat minor. But it could quite easily change. And so far, in terms of the feeling that I'm getting, it feels quite warm to me. I actually am getting the idea of something kind of like a return to something. I think, although it says farewell, I'm almost getting the feeling of something returning to me in a sense. But hey, this is like 11 seconds into this, so let's keep going. Okay, there's a lot of really interesting things here that I really like. So in terms of the elements of this, we have 4 things that stick out to me. We have the drum kit part, which feels really unusual actually to be playing it in this way. It sounds something like on top of that, we also, of course, have the lead vocals, the da-da-da. Part of the reason how I can know it's in A flat minor now. Really soft, quite broken in nature. Like, we don't have these long drawn out phrases, like compare this. It's kind of more like a... that kind of thing, broken apart, which almost has this sensation of things falling apart on some level. So drum kit, vocals, we had the pad sounds in the background, very electronic synth sounds in the background. We also have this piano that's occasionally just going like... not like that, but kind of like that. I'm really curious of what the chorus is going to sound like, because we have a drum kit now, which feels unusual to me. I would have imagined this would build up to a really epic section with a drum kit, but we're getting that earlier than I expected.
Trembling branches, a soul for soul, bound to soar to the very edge of the staring ocean. Even if are meant to fall apart, I will get sad.
Another thing that I really like, the strings. It's occasionally kind of coming in. I get this sort of spacey feel to that. I don't know why. I'm not sure why this is reminding me of space, but I like those elements kind of gradually coming in. This makes me even more curious to know what the chorus is going to sound like. If I had to make a prediction, this could be way off. Okay, if I had to make a prediction, I think the bass is going to come in at the chorus. I think it's going to be very big, quite epic sounding, quite kind of cinematic, very climactic in a sense. Like this is the kind of like the core throwing of emotions are all kind of going to come into this section where things are going to make a lot of sense. But let's keep going.
Are meant to fall apart, I will get sad where you are for all time. Voyage
chorus.
Crystallize with, please, crack a little smile. You won't be alone in this world you've chosen as your own. Don't worry, I'm well aware that all
Okay, I've got a few things I need to say for this. Okay, first of all, I assume that was a pre-chorus, what I just heard. It was like, if I can find my sustain pedal. It was kind of that sequence, more than anything else. I kind of added some extra stuff for no reason, but okay. Then we went into what now feels like a second verse. It doesn't feel like a chorus. So I think what's going to happen is there's going to be almost one chorusy section that happens quite later down the line. And we're going to, some songs do this where we have this rotation of like a verse, a pre-chorus, a verse, a pre-chorus, and then the chorus. And I feel like it's almost guiding us there. We're bringing up to this epic finale section of the piece where things are going to make a lot of sense. Because right now I'm getting mixed messages from this. I'm getting the feeling of saying farewell, but also kind of being reunited at the same time, as well as an element of things falling apart. But one of the first words I mentioned was warm. I still get this warmth listening to this, and I'm not entirely sure why.
no face melting the end. Which is high, a world that hope was free. So evidence, flame boiling to that good night.
Okay, I think this is going to lead up into a climactic section. But we had the introduction of the bass in that second verse. That kind of idea. I feel like this is sort of like an instrumental going on here. I think I heard that.
Voyage, may your path be clear. May you get aware. Dreams are all crystallized with. Please, crack a little smile. You won't be alone in this world you've chosen as your own. Time is such a dazzling riddle. Guess I'll spend my whole life forever with my
Okay, no. Wait. Okay, there are things, if you've been following my reactions for a while, and I've done a lot of Wuthering Waves stuffs, Arc Knights, Limbus Company, a bunch of other things, you'll know that there are certain phrases or chord sequences that can trigger like a reaction within me, and it just happened. I want to listen to it again, because I think I'll be able to play what I heard. But I'll listen one more time. Also, there's something I noticed. The phrase, I think it was crystalline and sweet, happened before. Yeah, it was here. Oh, okay. So, what I described as the second verse before, I think is actually a chorus. It didn't inherently feel like a chorus because the instrumentation stayed really, really similar. Now, the second time we hear this, it feels much more like a chorus, given that there's a bass, there's a drum kit that's playing a different rhythm this time. It feels heavier. It's really interesting, actually, technically, to take this approach of introducing an idea which feels like a chorus, but we're not quite sure about it, and then eventually going into the same thing again, but more obviously making it a chorus. This is how I get the sensation of things really building up and gradually taking us on an emotional roller coaster. Okay, let me go back to that section now. The reason I noticed it is because I remember seeing the phrase crystalline and sweet before, which in and of itself is such an interesting phrase. I want to play some of that. And in order to do that, I should listen to it a bit more. Kind of like that. That's really fun to play, actually. I'm probably going to listen to some piano covers of this after that, I'll be honest. But the thing that I really like is the uncertain, unpredictable, goes outside of the key. That's why I really enjoy it. Man, that's insane. I was playing on top of it, admittedly. Oh, but that's such a nice piece of music. My gosh, that was really, really cool. There was some really interesting musical things there that I absolutely loved. But on top of that, it was more so just the build-up that I really liked. I was sort of mistaken in thinking that it would take the normal structure that I imagined in my head originally. Then it kind of did, but it goes back to what I said at the beginning of this kind of building up to something really climactic, which is a thing that we did get in this. And by the end, I definitely felt a farewell. I definitely felt a parting of maybe one person from a group of people almost. I mean, when I see the word farewell, I always think of like one person departing from somebody else, like a one-on-one sort of thing. But this almost feels like one person departing from the world on some level. But because this was a popular suggestion, I know people who submitted it via everythingfantasy.net, which is where you can submit things to, would have said something about it. Hello, I like this song, so just wanted to see what you think of it. And now you know what I think of it. It's such a beautiful song, and thanks for suggesting it too. Somebody else didn't say anything, and the third person said, "This is the source of Wooer's journey well. The source of journey well? It breaks our hearts and hope yours too." Okay, so the second part of it, breaks hearts, hope mine too. Absolutely, I feel connected to what's happening, even though I don't know anything. It's amazing how you can feel connected to a game that you've never personally played. By the way, I've got it installed. I haven't played much by way of games lately anyway, so that's why I haven't gotten around to it yet. But I feel connected to the characters. I don't know who they are, but I feel connected to something. And it's amazing how game music can do this when done in a particular way, and it's so powerful. And the vocalist did a fantastic job too. In fact, I have the artist on screen here. Huge credit to them and the composer and the engineers and everything. This is such a massive side note, but because I, as well as composing, worked in studios, doing sound engineering, being a runner and things like that, I have huge respect for the people that mix the music and everything too. So massive shout out to them. The final comment was, it said, "This is the source of Wooer's journey well." I've seen that phrase somewhere. I know it's referring to something. I'm just kind of curious. Journey well references the highly emotional ending of... Oh. Okay, I'm not going to read any more of that. I feel like it's going to spoil something, so I'm going to avoid it entirely. I'd love to know what you think, as always. I've seen quite a few more suggestions come in. I feel like in the last video I said, oh, I'm running low on Wooer suggestions. You definitely made up for that. I can see like, Grand Feast, Daydream. I can see Bury Me in Sunlight. There's just a whole lot more. And I can see Unwritten in the Stars. But yeah, keep them coming. I'm really interested in listening to more. I'll probably record a whole bunch of reactions next week, so expect that soon. I'm going to update the website so you can see all the things I've reacted to. Until next time, thanks for watching and take care.